New pack for Planet Zoo, where are you? A question we have been wondering about for the past few months, and it feels like ages since the last pack, doesn't it? In this video, I would like to talk about when I think we can expect to see a new Planet Zoo pack, what kind of pack we might be seeing, what kind of animals I think we will be seeing in the next Planet Zoo pack, and obviously we all wonder, is this going to be the last Planet Zoo pack or not? If you are curious to hear more, then be sure to hit that like button and definitely stay tuned. Hey everyone, my name is DeLady, and today we're finally back with another Planet Zoo video. I know my Planet Zoo content on the channel has been lacking a bit over the past few weeks, but that's really due to my holiday, all the great information we were getting about Planet Coaster 2, and simply the lack of time due to my normal daytime job. But I'm very happy to tell you guys that I am, as we speak, working on a little plan for a new mini franchise series that we will be uploading to the channel very, very soon, so definitely do stay tuned for that. Now let's talk about Planet Zoo, and specifically Planet Zoo for PC, because we all know that they are still rolling out the current Planet Zoo packs for the console edition. So I want to specifically talk about a new pack for PC that will later, probably in 2025, drop for Planet Zoo on the console edition. So what do we know for sure so far? Well, Frontier is not very known for revealing too much of what they have in store for us. However, since the new Frontier Unlocked livestream, it does feel like they want to open up slightly to the community a bit more. That's why at this point, we do know for sure that they are at least working on one more animal pack for Planet Zoo. Whether this is going to be the last pack for Planet Zoo or not, we will talk about that later on during this video. So okay, at least one more animal pack. What kind of pack could this actually be? If we simply look at the continents in the Zoopedia of Planet Zoo and count the animals there, we find that there are quite a few animals representing the African and Asian continent. We have 69 animals from the Asian continent and 65 animals from the African continent. Now obviously some animals will be counted more than once here, as you can find some animals on several continents in the game. But okay, then we have 45 animals under the North American tab, 40 animals under the South American tab, followed by 31 animals under the European tab, and 27 animals under the Oceania tab. If we simply look at the continents and compare them to the African and Asian animals, then I do feel like the game could still use a bunch of animals on the North American and South American continent, but even more on the European and the Oceania continent, which definitely leaves a lot of options if you ask me. So if we look at the South American continent, we could think of animals such as the jaguarundi, a small elusive wildcat, the pygmy marmoset, a tiny agile primate, the giant river otter, a large playful aquatic mammal, the southern tamadua, I hope I pronounced that right, a unique anteater with like this prehensile tail, and the ocelot, a medium-sized wildcat with striking markings, and the rhea, I'm sorry if I ruin all these pronunciations here, which is like this large flightless bird. And then we have the kinkajou, I think I pronounced that right, a nocturnal tree-dwelling mammal, or the mara, a large rodent resembling a cross between a rabbit and a deer. Now, if we look at the North American continent, we could look at animals such as the American badger, robust burrowing animal, an American pika, a small mountain-dwelling relative of rabbits, the Canadian lynx, a medium-sized wildcat with tufted ears, the northern river otter, a playful semi-aquatic mammal, the American woodcock, which is a small ground-dwelling bird with unique courtship displays, or the fisher, a nimble predatory member of the weasel family. Now, when looking at the European continent, we could be seeing animals such as the the European wildcat or the European hedgehog, which is like this nocturnal mammal with a spiky coat, the European beaver or the sika deer, which is like this medium-sized deer with distinctive markings, the European polecat, a small carnivore related to the weasel, the mouflon, a wild sheep with impressive curved horns, or the roe deer, a small agile deer with a reddish-brown coat, the Scottish wildcat, a critically endangered wildcat native to Scotland, or the Pyrenean chamois, I hope I pronounced that right, which is a mountain-dwelling goat antelope, or the European water vole, which is a semi-aquatic rodent with burrowing habits, the Caucasian leopard, a large elusive leopard from the Caucasus Mountains, and the European otter, which is obviously a playful semi-aquatic mammal found in the rivers and lakes. Now, not all these animals mentioned here are per se animals that I would really like to see, but yeah, just to give an example of what kind of animals we could still be seeing being added into the game, obviously like an otter or a beaver, we could question like we already have those type of animals, but yeah, it's always the same discussion as well with cats or deer, so yeah, some people really love them, some people hate them, so I guess it's either one of the two. And then we still have the Oceania continent left, and for this continent we could be looking at animals such as the numbat, the greater bilby, sugar glider, the common echidna or eastern long-beaked echidna, or something like the Australian sea lion or a green sea turtle, or maybe the tree kangaroo, the spot-tailed quail, or the kakapo, which is like this rare nocturnal parrot from New Zealand, or like a rhea, which is also a large flightless bird, which looks similar to the ostrich, or like a steamer duck, which is a flightless duck. There's definitely some really great animals on this list with, for me personally, the flightless birds, the sea lion, and the sea turtle definitely being among my favorite type of animals to see still being added into the game. Now, obviously, these are just all example animals per continent, but I'm sure you guys can think of many more great animals to add to this continent list. So if you do, please do let me know in the comments down below. But one thing is very clear, if Frontier wants to keep adding to the game, there are still plenty of animals to choose from. What kind of pack from which continent would you prefer the most? I'm super curious to hear. Now, another interesting aspect to consider is the meta habitat wishlist on the Planet Zoo forums. If we take a look at this wishlist and some of the most requested animals, I can definitely see Frontier maybe creating some kind of community favorites animal pack or something like that, especially if the next pack turns out to be the last one for Planet Zoo. Some of the top requested animals are things like the secretary bird, the South American coati, walrus, Goodfellas tree kangaroo, the black howler monkey, musk ox, the Hamadryas baboon, golden lion tamarin, the shoebill, definitely one of my favorites, West Indian manatee, also definitely one of my favorites, the gray-crowned crane, the ocelot, the markhor, the spectacled bear, and the serval. These animals are all in the top 15 of the 25 essential habitat animals meta wish list on the Planet Zoo forums, reflecting the popularity and the community's desire to see them added into the game. So we could definitely see Frontier maybe using this list for inspiration for the next pack. If I could pick my favorite animals from that top 15, like I said, obviously the walrus and the shoebill and the manatee, but also the secretary bird, the serval. There are definitely some really great animals in that list, but what animals would you like to see from this top 15? Do let me know down below. Okay, we mentioned it a few times now on the channel and in this video, will this actually be the last pack? There are a few reasons why I think it's going to be the last pack, but there are also a few reasons why I actually doubt it will be the last pack. So let's start with the reasons why I think this might be actually the last Planet Zoo pack we're going to see. We all know that Frontier is working very hard on their newest CMS game, Planet Coaster 2, which will launch at the end of this year. So the fact that it's taking so long for a new Planet Zoo pack already now to drop shows how Frontier operates internally and how they have worked on games over the past few years. Now, whenever they are working on a new game, especially 1 or 2 years before its launch, it's pretty much all hands on deck at Frontier as far as I know. This means that most of the employees that are available are pulled from other projects to focus on a new game, ensuring it gets the best possible launch, which is super logical if you ask me. So in simple terms, many people who were working on Planet Zoo have been reassigned over the past few years to work on Planet Coaster 2. Currently, a group is dedicated to launching, of course, the Planet Zoo packs for the console edition, while another group is focusing on Planet Coaster 2. And for me, it's clear that this shift in resources is one of the reasons why Planet Zoo hasn't seen any new packs since the end of April. Now, in fact, I believe that Frontier actually never planned to extend Planet Zoo development for so long up until this year. To understand why, we need to look at Planet Coaster's development. Like with Planet Coaster, they also didn't anticipate the game's success beforehand. So when planning out a new game and the packs they would develop for it, they most likely planned out the themed packs, but used the ride packs as fillers to extend the game's success over a longer period of time. And I think they officially confirmed this at some point, but I can't really recall where they did. Now, looking at Planet Zoo, you can see a similar pattern like emerging. The animal packs are like prime examples of this, and also, as I've mentioned from the start, or not from the start, but when it launched, the Barnyard Animal pack definitely doesn't feel like a pack that was planned before the game's launch in 2019. Additionally, considering the theme and the vibe of the Oceania pack, we might even speculate that these reused elements from something they're also working on Planet Coaster 2, like the theme with its tiki statues and floor plans, flowers, and surfboards. It definitely shares like this similar vibe. We obviously don't have we have not played Planet Coaster 2 yet, so we can't really dive into I think it's the resort theme, but it could be called differently, but we haven't really seen the pieces. But what we can tell so far from like screenshots and the trailers, it definitely shares a similar vibe here. So maybe to save time, they did reuse pieces here and focused mainly on the animals from the Oceania pack. Does that sound plausible for you guys? I'm super curious to hear your thoughts here. But we also know from one of Frontier's latest annual financial reports that initially it seemed they didn't plan on launching any new Planet Zoo content, apart of course from the console stuff, but like new Planet Zoo content for the second half of 2024. This makes me think that the next pack might have been pushed forward due to the lack of employees, as most of them were reassigned to the console edition of Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster 2. It's possible that the next pack could still be the last pack for Planet Zoo, looking at this information, only pushed forward a little bit. But also, for instance, if you look at some of the bugs, best example is the souvenir shops added in the free update alongside the Eurasian Animal Pack in December 2023. They still don't work as intended for some players, even 9 months later. So it's like these bugs are no longer game breaking as they were in the beginning. It took quite a long time for Frontier to actually fix that, but still, for some people, they still haven't been properly fixed. So it's quite unusual for Frontier to have these bigger type of bugs not being fixed fairly quickly. Of course, there are bugs that have not been fixed after 4 years, for example, but in general, some bigger game-breaking things, should be fixed in quite a short notice. But it seems to me that they might not have enough staff dedicated to Planet Zoo bug fixing at the moment, with most employees just focusing on their newest priority, which is of course ensuring that Planet Coaster 2 will launch without major issues. So yeah, it does feel to me more and more that there's really a lack of employees on one side of the area for bug fixing, for example, which are all being pulled to Planet Coaster 2, because that is right now the main priority for Frontier. They want Planet Coaster 2 to be a huge success. So yeah, other games that have been in the running for quite some time are suffering from it, but it's not like a major thing, but you can just tell. And also, additionally, the fact that Frontier has confirmed that the next pack will be another animal pack following the Barnyard Animal Pack and the Eurasian Animal Pack makes it seem like they are really wrapping up game development with a few final, possibly unplanned animal packs. So the pattern also suggests that Frontier may prefer to focus on one planet game at a time. So just looking at the development of Planet Coaster that ended in the summer before Planet Zoo launch in 2019, this might also indicate that they want to concentrate their efforts on one planet game at a time before moving on to the next planet game. The only thing is they extended Planet Zoo probably already a little bit too long. They also want to focus on Planet Zoo launching on console. They have so many things to do at the same time. And let's also not forget that Frontier has confirmed they are working on 3 CMS games over the next 3 years, or at least launching over the next 3 years. And we already know by now, the first one is Planet Coaster 2. The second one, so set to launch in 2025, is Jurassic World Evolution 3. And given this, it seems increasingly likely that their third CMS game will be Planet Zoo 2. Because Planet Zoo has been out for almost 5 years now, and at this point, I'm 100% convinced that we won't be getting full aquatics or actual flying birds in the current game anymore. There might be 1 or 2 in the next packs that would more feel like some kind of practice for or trial for Planet Zoo 2 to see if everything works properly or something, but I'm not expecting a full aquatics pack anymore. I'm not expecting a full birds pack anymore. It's too late. 5 years after the game launched, well, almost 5 years, 4.5 years right now. It's too late. It's not going to happen. So connecting the dots here, it definitely feels like Frontier is saving these type of animals for Planet Zoo 2, similar to how they have reserved water parks for Planet Coaster 2, for example. Like aquariums could be this main feature for Planet Zoo 2 and the main selling point, for example, for Planet Zoo 2. So yeah. I've been trying to avoid mentioning Planet Zoo 2 on the channel for a long time, but it's becoming clearer and clearer that this is what Frontier is planning to do. I'm like 99% certain at this point that Planet Zoo 2 will be the third CMS game and will launch at the end of 2026. So this is also another reason why I feel like they need to wrap up Planet Zoo 1 development soon. To build excitement, of course, for a potential sequel, they might want to make players wait at least a year or more without any new packs to like increase this anticipation for the sequel. If they were to continue releasing new packs for Planet Zoo, say until spring 2026, and then announce a sequel, it might not generate the same level of excitement. And additionally, they obviously need many of their employees to work on the sequel over the next coming years. I can imagine that with AI, things will become a lot easier and better to improve a sequel a lot faster, but still they do need employees for that as well. So yeah. However, the fact that I feel Frontier is extending Planet Zoo's development further than initially planned might be due to the game's ongoing popularity. Well, of course it is, because else they would not have decided to plan some extra packs in between. Sure, the popularity has declined, especially over the past year or so, at least if we consider Steam players, of course, because we don't know pretty much anything about the console players, but this could be a reason for Frontier to wrap up development on this game and focus on the sequel. However, I could see them possibly extending development for PC a bit longer with some initially unplanned packs still. Because if you look at the transition from Planet Coaster to Planet Zoo, it seems that Planet Zoo was so popular, like unexpectedly popular for Frontier, they really didn't have to worry about finances. Like Planet Zoo brought in a lot of new players and sold 1 million copies in only the first 6 months after its launch, making it a huge success for Frontier. And I've been trying to find exact sales numbers for Planet Coaster, which has been quite challenging to be honest, but it appears that Planet Coaster sold around 1 million copies in the first 3 to 4 years, so you can already tell the difference. Sales really accelerated, however, when the game was released on console. So Planet Coaster really catched up later on in, I think it was 2020 when the game launched on console. It really spiked with the sales. So this also highlights why they are launching Planet Coaster 2 on both PC and console simultaneously, because yeah, it just did really well on console as well. So it actually doesn't surprise me that it's also a console edition game from the get-go. Okay, back to Planet Zoo being so popular from the start. Like, it also highlights the difference in player types. Not every Planet Coaster player is into a game like Planet Zoo, and similarly, not every Planet Zoo player is into a game like Planet Coaster. We actually did a poll on my community wall a week ago, which I admit was mostly among Planet Zoo players because I grew the most when I played Planet Zoo. However, this also supports my point. Even though around 2/3 of people are super excited for Planet Coaster 2, there's also a third who is not excited about Planet Coaster 2 at all, and they just prefer zoo games. And these players are simply not interested in theme parks and just have no desire to play Planet Coaster 2. Now, with you all watching this video right now, let me know in the comments down below to which group you belong to. Do you enjoy both games, just like me? Or are you more of a Planet Coaster 2 player or more of a Planet Zoo player and you are just not really interested in the other game? Additionally, share your top 3 other games that you like to play as well, so beyond Planet games, because I sometimes have the feeling that Planet Coaster players are more often into games like City Skylines, for example, while Planet Zoo players generally enjoy games like The Sims and farming simulation games more. It's a feeling that I have, and I'm just super happy to hear if I'm wrong here or not. So please do let me know in the comments down below. But okay. My point is, what if Planet Coaster 2 does well, but not well enough to take the top spot as Planet Zoo did in the past? This could be one reason why they are already planning Planet Zoo 2 and it being pretty soon, so in only 2 years from now. But it might also explain why they want to continue satisfying a group of players who only want to play Planet Zoo while others are playing Planet Coaster 2. So what if this group of Planet Zoo players is reason enough for Frontier to release one more animal pack this year, or maybe another 2 next year, or maybe 2 this year? Maybe not as many packs as we're used to, but just enough to keep the Planet Zoo player base happy until they're ready to announce Planet Zoo 2. What do you guys think about this theory? Could this actually be a possibility? I mean, I definitely don't want Planet Zoo development to end. I think that's very clear by now. And I love this game way too much. And not getting any new packs for the next 2 years would make me so freaking sad. Sure, I'm excited for Planet Coaster 2, but I'm one of those players who enjoys both games a lot. And I will keep my best, of course, to keep playing both games on the channel as much as I can. But how do you guys feel about this? And obviously, there is much more to say about Planet Zoo 2 and what could make it a great sequel or not, but we'll save that for a different video. Now, how do we actually know if the next pack is going to be the last pack for Planet Zoo or not? Well, luckily Frontier did confirm in an interview that they never just end development on a game without giving some indication, even though they might not officially confirm or say that it's the final pack. There's like this pattern they followed in the past. So for both Jurassic World Evolution 1 and Planet Coaster 1, they ensured that the last pack was slightly bigger and slightly more expansive than the previous one. So if Frontier follows the same approach with Planet Zoo, the next and final pack should, for example, be priced around $12.99 or $14.99 and include a little bit more content than usual. So they did confirm that the last pack will be an animal pack. So if that would be the last pack, I'm going to expect it to maybe have 12 animals or maybe 15 animals, and then would be priced a little bit higher, something like that. However, if it's priced at the usual $9.99, the next pack, I wouldn't be super convinced that it's the end. In that case, I will definitely keep my hopes up for another pack, at least one more after that. But of course, time will tell in the end. And then, obviously, the last question we've all been wondering about: when can we expect the next Planet Zoo pack, or potentially the last Planet Zoo pack? Since Frontier has clearly deviated from their normal schedule, it's very hard to tell. But what we do know is that next week, Frontier will be showcasing Planet Coaster 2 at Gamescom. And I wouldn't be surprised if they use Gamescom to release more information about Planet Coaster 2 first, and possibly even reveal the release date, which is still unknown at this point. So Planet Coaster 2 will likely be the highlight of August for Frontier. And I wouldn't be surprised if September, or possibly the end of September, is when Planet Zoo gets its turn for a spotlight. So late September, or maybe early October could also be a possibility. Given that Planet Coaster 2 is set to launch in fall of 2024, I play my bets on the next Planet Zoo pack arriving in September, with Planet Coaster 2 potentially dropping somewhere in October or November of this year. But it does make me wonder if there will be another Planet Zoo pack dropping before Christmas. So this is always a great time of year for game developers to launch games and packs, and Frontier is very well known for launching packs at the beginning of December, right before the holidays. I'm expecting the first Planet Coaster 2 pack to also drop in December. So apart from launch, I'm really thinking that there will be a first DLC already in December for Planet Coaster 2 as well. Pretty much just following Frontier's trend here of launching packs for new games around that time. So realistically, it's possible that the first Planet Coaster 2 pack in December could overshadow another Planet Zoo pack. However, who knows? I would definitely love to see another Planet Zoo pack by then. And it's also possible that Frontier might not even release a Planet Zoo pack in September, October, or November of this year, but instead will push that potentially last pack, or at least next Planet Zoo pack, to launch at the beginning of December. So they could also maybe just skip a few months still. There are still so many options open here, I guess. So let me know in the comments down below if you're also hoping at least for 2 more packs for Planet Zoo this year, in addition to the launch, of course, of Planet Coaster 2. Surely I am not alone in my wishes for more Planet Zoo packs, am I? Now, another reason for them to push Planet Zoo to December, or even to maybe November, could be the 5th anniversary of the game. They might either release one more free animal with the anniversary update and then launch the next potentially last Planet Zoo pack in December, or they could combine everything. This could involve releasing the last pack alongside the anniversary update, which might include a free animal as well. I'm definitely thinking that there will be a free animal with the anniversary, but the question just is, are they going to combine it maybe with the last pack? I mean, it could be something nice to close off development for at least PC Planet Zoo around the birthday of Planet Zoo. But yeah, something like this could definitely be on a table as well. What do you think? Anyway, there's a lot to think about and to talk about, but time will tell, of course, what will happen with Planet Zoo in the future. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think the next pack will be? Do you believe it will be the last pack or not? What animals would you still like to see in Planet Zoo? Are you one of those people that are not interested in Planet Coaster 2? And you're just really desperate for more Planet Zoo packs in the future? I really would love to hear all your thoughts and ideas in the comments down below. Leave a like at this video if you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And yeah, I just really do hope to see you guys all in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, guys!